Welcome to Nerdities. Bitches.
Hey everybody, we're returning back to our gripping conversation about what is the standard of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like, where do they lie in our opinions? We have graded, Nerdity style, everything up to Guardians of the Galaxy. And we're going to jump back in with Avengers Age of Ultron. Everyone here has their own grading style. The only thing we need out of everyone is either 1 to 100 rating on the movie. Don't care how you get there.
I still think that's that's too big of a fucking gap. Like 1 to 10. 1 to 10 would have worked great.
I like the 100.
Fucking thing.
No.
It leaves more room for distinction between movies that are like close.
If we do 1 to 10, we had decimals.
Yeah, if we did 1 to 10, I would have a shit ton of 7s and 8s.
All right, so where are we at?
Yeah.
What are we on?
Age of Ultron.
Avengers Age of Ultron.
All right.
I will give...
Go ahead, Shill. You go first.
Huh?
I said you, Shill, go first.
I shall go first.
Yeah.
I grade mine on acting, story, effects, and comic feel, as you may well remember. So, as far as acting goes, I give Age of Ultron a 22. Story, 21. Effects, 18. Because there are some of the worst digital effects in the whole MCU in that. Some of the most half-assed. And overall comic feel, 18. Because it kind of skews from all of those characters in a lot of ways. It comes out to 82. I think 82 is a pretty fair number for Age of Ultron. Still fun as fuck. We got to see a live-action Hulkbuster, so I can't complain about the movie.
Did get Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah. Okay. Justin.
Excuse me. I'll go 80.
Why?
Well, man, I'm glad you... I don't hate it.
That's so funny.
I don't hate it. It's not my least favorite Marvel movie for sure. It's not even my least favorite Avengers movie. I don't think there's quality parts. Like the whole Avengers Tower like hangout scene was one of my favorite things they've ever done because it is very comic book. But
Where this one's gonna go?
just like every time they use a big bad from the comics, it's just like super easy. He's dead by the end of it.
Except he's not. Maybe. We don't know.
We don't know.
He will be back.
Yeah. It's great. I'm happy that they did that. Now, several years after this movie. You know, a couple things that I know they couldn't use the M word at the time. They weren't allowed to say Wanda and Pietro were mutants, or their father was Magneto, or any of that.
It's 2 M words.
Yeah. And also that they killed fucking Quicksilver. That was bullshit.
Stupid.
I actually like that. Surprising. You don't get surprised like that in these big budget movies.
Surprise
It's a huge fucking team,
would have
so
been
it's
if they killed one of the team members that had been around for a couple movies. They took the easy way out, and they killed someone that was introduced in that movie.
No, I think it would have been more obvious if a previously established character dies. Someone who's brand new, someone you expect to be around for a while, dies off. That's out of left field.
I beg to differ, and now, because of your disagreement with me, I'm dropping it to a 75.
It's too late. I put in 80. Kyle?
Well, it's fine if Justin didn't drop it to a 75 because I have a similar score to that. For the movies that we've done already, which, what did we do, 10 of them? I would say it's definitely not as good as the tops on the list. Like, it's not in the same tier as Winter Soldier, First Avenger, The Avengers. I would say it's not even in the same tier as Guardians of the Galaxy. So, like, and I would even put it a step below the original Iron Man. So, at best, to this point, it's, in my opinion, the 6th best movie in the MCU out of 11 movies. Like, best case scenario. And for that reason, I can't put it in the 80s. You can't be middle of the road, even at the point you were released, and be, like, in the 80s or above. So I'm giving it a 74.
Yeesh.
I like how Kyle's way more harsh than I am.
It's all business. Joe.
Age of Ultron, I give a 77. There were things about the movie that I did like. The hangout scene. I liked the watch your language part. You know, that was great. But
Gag.
it felt too. I don't. This was my least favorite Avengers movie out of the 4. I don't know. It was like, because I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at that time too, and they did the build up to at the episode before Age of Ultron came out. They're just like, make the call the team in, and then the next time you see anything Marvel, it's them. Like, it was cool, but just there were things that just let me down.
Okay. Vinny?
I'm going to give it a 70 and a note that says "See me after class." It was fine because it was a comic book movie, but a lot of the writing, like, I hate the cute stuff. Like, when Hawkeye's like, "Oh, just park it in the rear," and what the hell's her name? Scarlett Johansson. She's like, "Ooh, you might want to watch saying that." Like, are we targeting kids or is this an adult movie? Pick a lane. Don't like that. So
I don't remember that being like a sex joke.
Yeah.
It's a sex joke. It's a sex joke. What are they talking about?
Everything's a sex joke to you. You're just too sex sensitive.
No, it's just, if you're going to do something like that, then Thor should be talking to babes about his hammer. You understand? They don't do that. Jane can lift up my hammer. Like, that was a perfect joke when they were hanging out. He could have said, didn't say it. That's why I see me after class, because I could have given that line. It would have been great. But I like Ultron. I thought he was cool.
Yeah, the voiceover work was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Speed was great.
So yeah, Satisfactory.
Barely, it would seem. Averages out to a 76.6.
Ooh.
Didn't expect it to be that low. Okay. Ant-Man with the immortal Paul Rudd. I went 20 for acting. I mean, it's got Michael Douglas in it. Story, 21. The father-daughter thing was heart-wrenching. The effects, I love the shrinking effect. I think that was one of the most fun things they did, and seeing things small. So that gets a 22. And as far as comic feel goes, the fact that they pulled off an Ant-Man and made it feel like Ant-Man got 22. So I'm going 85 for Ant-Man. Let's see how much lower everyone can go.
Jesus Christ. You are so generous.
Because you guys are so cruel.
No. I started my movies from the movie that I thought was the best, gave it a grade, and then said, okay, no other movies are as good as this movie. Every movie has to go down at least a point.
That's so Kyle.
My goal was to
So
not have
fucking
any
Kyle.
two movies have the same exact grade.
I
That's odd.
I
What if
do
they just do in your mind?
I do
They don't.
love
They don't. They can't. Nothing can ever be
If
a
they
sequel.
did, I wouldn't have an order of which movies were my favorite, but I do.
You're talking about the guy who wants us to seed like random fucking tournaments. Are you surprised that he's like nothing can be the same? Now I'm the opposite end of the spectrum where I'm just like, what is my mood currently about this thing? And I'm gonna give Ant-Man a 91.
That's utterly shocking for me.
I love Ant-Man. I love Paul Rudd.
Guess what? It's about to fucking balance out.
I love Paul Rudd. Introducing his trio of buddies was some of the best side character casting they've ever done. Loved the small chin, of course, but Louise, I want it to happen. I want the Louise rundown of the fucking MCU timeline.
I don't know what they're waiting for.
I don't know. And, just like everything about it was fucking great. In my
Hey, Kyle, you're up next.
in
What
my
wasn't so great?
opinion.
I mean, Yellow Jacket wasn't awesome.
Yeah, I thought Yellow Jacket was fucking great.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't think the fate of him at the end of the movie was awesome either.
Oh, what? How it ended or where it goes from there?
Well, I'm grading it based on where we are at the end of the movie, not what happens to him in a later movie.
Good. I wasn't quite sure.
But is it my turn to grade?
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, the criteria is going, right? Like, we've already established what my top, 5 movies in the MCU are to this point. And, I think Ant-Man is closer to being in with those movies than Age of Ultron was. But, it's not. There's plenty of movies that are going to come after this that are noticeably better than Ant-Man and still not as good as those other movies. So I'm giving it a 78.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
That's fucking harsh.
It's not harsh at all.
It's very harsh.
It's not harsh at all. It's a 0 to 100.
Compared to everybody else,
A 78 is a C plus.
Doesn't feel like a C plus movie to me.
It's a C plus MCU movie.
Yeah. I felt it added a kick in the ass to the whole proceedings.
Yeah.
Especially after Age of Ultron. Okay, Joe.
First Ant-Man, I will give it. I'll give it an 87.
Yeah, Joe.
I'll be. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the dynamic with the group. Paul Rudd is great. Michael Douglas was great. I thought that the cast worked really well. I liked the story. I was very entertained with this movie. Baskin Robbins always finds out.
Just don't play.
And I really it is up there on movies that I will watch if they're on TV. It's at any point it's the first Ant-Man.
It's getting a lot more love than I expected from some places. Vinny.
I have to give it a 69.5.
This fucking
Wow.
I think Age of Ultron is better than Ant-Man. I've only seen Ant-Man once.
Well, your opinion's stupid.
Excuse me, I'm going to clear my time. I'm going to clear my time. I've only seen Ant-Man once, and based on that, who cares? Kind of forgettable. Next.
The worst.
Do we have a goal of how many we want to get through?
I figured we'd go based on time. Try and get at least 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. Next up, I really, really...
Wait, what's the total? What's the average?
Oh, the average on that one was 82.1. We're getting into weird averages now that there's 5 of us, and one of us is throwing 69.5s in there.
What a twat.
Did they catch a niner? Are you grading from Lucky Ducky?
Next up, this better... I can't say better because I don't really care that much, but I hope this one's a lot more even across the board. Captain America Civil War. Okay. Acting. I gave that a 23 because that's a fucking great group together. It's the Avengers from the last movie, only in a slightly better film. Story. I gave it a 24 because it's a really good take on Civil War. It's virtually impossible to do that story verbatim, so you have to twist it. The way they twisted it was pretty great. The effects, it was one of those where we got a lot going on in here, and it's not as great as the others, but it's still pretty strong, 22. And comic feel, because they had to change so much from the comics to make it work as a standalone, I only gave it a 21. But that levels it at 90.
It is a good movie, but this falls into the thing that I hate besides the treatment of the villains. It's using titles of comic book stories that they can't do properly. So for that, Civil War gets a 20.
Wait, like a 20?
Yeah, it gets a 20.
You're fucking impossible.
Okay, so much for... Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're going to tank the show, then what's the
I'm
point of
not
the show?
tanking the show!
You're thinking.
How is that tanking the show? Because Civil War couldn't have 1,000 fucking characters in
Yeah,
it.
then don't do it.
It's
Don't
a
call it
20.
that. Call it
It's a
something
20.
else.
So your note on the test is, did you even study the material?
Yes.
I want to know how we just went from a 69.5 grade being outrageous to only one person speaking up about a 20.
Holy one. This show.
I give this movie a 93.
Like, what are we doing here, guys?
I'm not giving it a 20. I will give it an 80. It's not getting a lot of points for the I hate the using the name and not being able to do the real thing. And
I think it's a better
and it's
version
just
of
like
Civil War than the actual
it's just
comic
like
Civil War.
it's just like Venom 3. It's going to be stupid to do null because unless they do all the fucking hokey pokey that you're talking about.
This
I like
is nowhere near the same thing. They could accomplish a lot more in Civil War than Venom can in
I'm
fighting
not saying that they
Null.
didn't accomplish much. It was fine, but like the Civil War storyline was mutant driven, and then
No, not really.
well, it started with the whole mutant attack, and
No, it
then
didn't.
yeah, it did.
No, it started with the fight with the New Warriors.
Was it the New Warriors? No, it was.
Yeah. It was the Stamford attack, the Stamford incident,
Yeah.
where the school got blown up. I mean, sure, Nitro was a mutant, but
Right.
it was more about. It was more
And then
about.
it turned into the fucking Hero Registration Act.
Yeah, but it wasn't the Mutant Registration Act. It jumped way
Right.
past that and became about all powers. It was more about the reality show aspect, about them trivializing superheroes in the beginning. And then they go the other direction and make it super duper serious. All right, Kyle, please give me a number.
Yeah, I like this movie a lot. Pretty much everything about it, including debut of Spider-Man in the universe and the improved dynamic between Steve, Bucky, and Sam. I love the groundwork that sets for specifically Bucky and Sam moving forward, which would eventually become their own series. And I like that they focused on almost like a family dynamic when it comes to politics in certain instances, like how Vision and Wanda found themselves on opposing sides early on. I really liked how they dealt out those characters, because I couldn't remember one-to-one how the characters fell in the comics when it came to that. But I do remember Spider-Man being an important part of the story in the comics. So I thought it was good that they got him in there, even if only for like a cameo. My biggest knock on this movie is my biggest knock with the MCU a lot, which is when the villain is just not good, like not interesting, really. It doesn't really matter if the casting is good or not. Like, Daniel Bruhl wasn't bad casting. It was just like the character wasn't written as an interesting character. He didn't go toe-to-toe really with anyone.
I wouldn't use the word... I can understand where you're coming from, where he's not a physical threat, but I found him more interesting because he was a manipulator.
I think...
Then they shouldn't have named him Baron Zemo.
Named whatever.
I think had he not had the moment with T'Challa at the end, where he explains his situation with his family, I think if that moment had not been in there, I would have not given a shit about his character even at all. So I'm still giving the movie an 84 though, because I liked everything else about it.
Yeah, Joe.
I forgot what I said. I think I gave this movie a 93. Cast I thought was phenomenal. We had our first. We got Spider-Man. We got T'Challa in the MCU. That ending, dude. That ending that's what did it for me with the just that how manipulative Zemo was throughout the entire movie. And then you find out why. That's what I really liked. He did all this. He had all this plan, and then why? Because the Avengers left. They just left everything the remnants of what happened in Age of Ultron. That's it. And this left them to basically die. And he wanted his revenge. I thought the story was great. I did read the comics, but I take myself out of that when I look at this. But I look at the movie take, because I know they couldn't do everything they did in the comics. Like, we didn't have Punisher. Spider-Man wasn't going to reveal his true identity to the world.
Then don't use that fucking story.
But they
absolutely use it. Because the
I'm
point of that story isn't about all those other characters. It's about Steve versus Tony.
That's like going to a restaurant and getting served a fucking New York strip steak when you ordered a filet mignon, because it was called filet mignon on the fucking menu.
It was still a civil war within the Avengers.
It was the Avengers going
I'm aware of what they used the wording for, but you know damn well that they used that title because it was fucking popular.
Yeah, and it inspired this story.
My personal beef with that kind of thing is that they didn't get the Defenders into this movie. Like, they really should have. Even if they weren't fully the Defenders yet, they could have gotten the individual characters into this movie.
With, Surfer and...
No, he's talking about the Netflix shows at that point.
Oh, yeah. No. No, that's forced.
Yeah,
that would ruin the whole fucking thing.
Could have had the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That wouldn't have been forced. It was all following.
No, that's absolutely forced.
How's it forced? It's all in the same fucking universe.
No, then you have more characters you have
That's
to
the point of the story, Civil War.
It's not the point of the story. The point of the comic story is that it got overblown and that all these characters that were established are
So
now
if you're going to
heads.
use that name and you're going to try to pull that story, why would you not want to pull in as many characers that already exist in that universe
to use? It's not about that story.
Then don't fucking call it that.
That story inspires a different version of Civil War. It doesn't have to be this overblown fucking mess. The point of it is, the people who are here at this point in the story aren't getting along anymore.
Then just call it. Then just call it a group disagreement, not Civil War.
I will make.
Oh, that'll be great. Captain America, fucking group meeting.
I will make the point that there are two characters that I think should have and could have pretty easily been written into the movie. One of which Justin mentioned was the Punisher.
No.
I think he could have very easily been written into the movie, given where he was, how many things had happened in New York.
What would be the point for him?
What do you mean?
Like, how would he play into the story? It's a personal story between Tony and Steve, and then you add in the whole fucking Bucky thing via Zemo. Like, where does Punisher fit into this at all?
I would argue that the storyline of his character could have worked better for this particular movie than Ant-Man's character storyline, and the only reason Ant-Man got into this movie was because he was already in the MCU. Had the Punisher been even presented in the MCU at all prior to this, I think he would have been a very good fit for this movie. And I think, given a situation where the driving force of the issues between the two of them are legal documentation, I think it would have made a lot of sense to have a fucking lawyer who's a superhero appear in this movie.
That would completely sidetrack the whole story.
It would have only sidetracked it because they had not been in the MCU before. But that doesn't mean that they didn't belong in the movie. They absolutely did.
They didn't. They have no emotional connection to the story. Every character, with the exception of Ant-Man, has a direct emotional connection to another character. And even Ant-Man had a connection to Sam. Sure, he's the only one who's brought in there because of his technical abilities, but that helps set up the future. That helps set up Endgame, and, well, not Infinity War, he didn't show up in there. That helps bring him into the fold. What would Punisher not only do for the story, but do in the fight? What would Daredevil do for the story, but in the fight? Or not just that, but in the fight. They are completely mismatched and don't add anything to the story. And Punisher wasn't even that big of a part of Civil War. He comes in halfway through, gets his ass kicked by Captain America after saving Spider-Man, and then pretty much fucks off.
Okay.
Vinny, what's your number?
I give it an 83.
83?
Yeah. It was good, not great. Kind of underwhelming. But it loaded cast. Showed me that they were going to ruin Spider-Man by casting Tom Holland. And he will never be Toby. Never, ever be Toby. And, yeah, it was good. I always enjoy Iron Man and Captain America together. I want more of them.
Well, you're going to have to wait.
Yeah.
All right. The average on this thing was 86.
Nice to meet you.
Well, I could live with that. No more problems there. Okay. Doctor Strange. Acting. You got a Cumberbatch. It's going to be great acting. Give him a 22. Story. The story is kind of flat throughout. For me, it's the characters in this one that really move it forward. So I gave it a 19. Effects. Some fucking trippy ass effects in there. It's a lot of really well done CGI. So that gets a 22 for me. And overall comic feel. I mean, I would have liked the cowl to be a little longer. Those lapel thingies should have been a little bigger, but beyond that, it fucking brought Doctor Strange to life. Excellently. So that gets a 20. 83 for me.
Wow.
90. We all know my love for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's still a go-to when I need something to just zone out to. Fucking loved everything they did. I mean, we could have done less IGU, but hey,
Around the
Yeah. It's just like, yeah.
It's a pretty cool effect around the eyes.
It's fine, but I feel at the time wasn't what's his face always having eye goo issues.
Mads.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was bleeding from his eye a year or two before that, I think.
Yeah, he was.
All right, 90. I actually expected it a little closer to 100 for you, but I guess this is you being reasonable.
Yeah.
Kyle?
Plot-wise, not my favorite movie. The acting was pretty good. The visuals were excellent. I think the two main things about this movie that are going to help it get the score that I'm giving it are probably, with the exception of like Ant-Man, the number of side characters in the story that I enjoyed. Mordo I thought was very good. Wong was great. And the Ancient One I thought was very good. Caecilius, not a great villain, but that tracks with my feelings throughout the MCU. But the thing that I like most about this movie, Mike, you mentioned like it being a lot about the characters. I don't know. It would probably have to be a debate. I don't know if there's another movie that shows a single movie character arc as great as Stephen Strange's is from the beginning to the end of this movie.
Pure character growth.
Yeah, and it was excellent to watch, and the scene with him in the library and how he went through learning all the shit that he learned and his dedication to the craft, I think was an integral sequence to the movie that like maybe got it an extra 5 points for me just by itself. I'm giving it an 89.
89. All right. Yosef.
First, Doctor Strange. I very much enjoyed this movie. Of course, Cumberbatch was great. And we got Wongers. I liked more. I liked Mordo, and then I liked the little twist with that. The visuals were absolutely phenomenal with this movie. I will give Doctor Strange 1 and 86.
86. Are you giving it, or did it earn it?
Oh, it definitely earned that 86. It was. I liked it.
Then.
I go with an 82. I like Doctor Strange. I think it was a good movie. I like that. Who's the bald lady?
The Ancient One?
What is it?
The Ancient One?
Yeah, the bald lady. She's nice. Great actress. She brings it home.
Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Tilda Swinton. Rich McAdams, Babe. Yeah, no, that's a good movie. Didn't stockpile too many characters and shit. They just they made a movie, and I like it. Almost better than Civil War. That's why it gets 82.
Where are we at with time on the show?
We got probably enough time for one more.
I was going to suggest doing one more just based on Vinny's enthusiasm.
I'm so enthused.
I can tell.
Well, hey, he's waking up when it's his time to give a number, and that's all we can ask of anybody.
I'm listening.
What's
Joe
the
said 86. Justin said something.
90. What's the average on that one?
Joe's voice woke you up? The average on that one's 86. That's 2 86s in a row. This is when Marvel's hitting their stride.
Yeah, it's true.
Last one for the night is a real goodie for me. I know one of our fellow members doesn't quite love it as much as the first one, but Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 gets 22, 22, 23, and 23 for me when it comes to acting, story, effects, and comic feel. You know I love Jack Burton. Anything Jack Burton's in is going to be a winner for me. And much like Doctor Strange, the Guardians movies for visuals are hard to beat. Comics feel-wise, since they changed Ego a bit, loses a little, but the fact that we got the other fucking Guardians in there, the original Guardians, they managed to wedge them in. Mind-blowing. Ooh, like I said, I didn't say yet. 90. 90. I give it a 90. Justin.
82. Don't hate it. It's just, I don't prefer it. There's a lot of stuff that happens in it that's really solid. Like the continuation of Rocket's story. You know, him being a dick trying to push everybody away because he doesn't know really what to do, and that plays out well for the third one. Yondu's whole bit, not comedic wise, but like, you know, you realizing that that's legit, you know, Pete's father figure. Yeah, I wasn't thrilled with the ego stuff. Mantis and Drax were a home run. The stuff with Gamora and Nebula, I understood, but it kind of felt so like wedged into the movie that it kind of hurt it a little, in my opinion.
Like those are things they should have had at a different time. The arguments they should have had when something else was going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, that's where I sit.
Still fine. Okay, Kyle.
Yeah, visuals were solid. To go off a little what Justin said, this movie was not as rewatchable for me as the first one. And I, unfortunately, have still only seen the third one once in theaters. But, I mean, the growth of a lot of the characters was important. Peter getting to see a glimpse of what his life could have been like was very important for his character development. And I think that Mantis being introduced as a character in a pretty big way helps round out that group of characters. It's almost like a family that you thought was complete, and then they had their last kid, and now that family feels full. Is kind of how I feel about her being added to the mix. And then we didn't really get enough of her and Drax together in it, but they teased enough of that, and they teased enough of Mantis and Peter, their dialogues together. It made me want more of her going forward. And yeah, like, Ego as a world, as a planet to inhabit, was pretty captivating in theater, but like, the actual character was just, again, I thought, like, kind of underwhelming. I'm giving it an 86.
Okay. Joe.
I loved Guardians 2. From the opening sequence with Baby Groot,
Dancing Baby Groot.
to the end. Dude, this was the first Marvel movie I cried happy tears at the end. When Kraglin fucking... That ending got me.
When he salutes?
Yeah.
And you felt what he was feeling? Yeah, it was a pretty hard moment.
We got Mantis. I love the dynamic between Mantis and Drax. Karen Gillan fucking owns Nebula. Like, every time she's there, she freaking owns the screen.
You want to talk character growth? How did they make that asshole character from the first one?
Mm-hmm.
How did that turnaround happen in 1, 2, 3 movies to where she was by the third one?
Kurt Russell. That little twist to drive, kind of be like, oh, wait, no, you're a dick. Instead of, oh, happy. Oh, it kind of killed me to put that tumor in her head. Woo!
Yeah.
Didn't see that part coming.
That was a stomach sinker when you first see it in the movie theater. Like, oh.
Yeah.
I think a great thing about that was that they kept the camera on Chris Pratt and let you watch his eyes change.
Yeah. Can't say enough about the music. Gunn really stepped up that soundtrack with the second movie. I was highly entertained through that movie, so that's why That's why I got my score.
Did you drop it yet? I don't remember you saying it.
Yeah, what did I say?
Did you say
90?
number?
I think
90.
I said 90.
Okay. Well, if that's what your gut says right now, let's run
Yeah.
with it. Vinny, cap it off.
I'll give it an 82.5. I think it's not as good as Civil War. Very close. When Yondu says, he may be your father, but he ain't your daddy. Fucking terrible little bitch. It's a good movie. A little bit better than Strange. I just like that cast. They're good.
90 plus 82.
0.5.
86 plus 90 plus, yes, 82.5.
What?
86.1.
Oh, I thought you were saying 82.5 was the average. 86.1.
86.1.
All right.
You know what? At the end of the day, I can't say I'm emotionally offended by any of these numbers. I mean, I like Age of Ultron. I don't think Age of Ultron's a 70s movie. 76.6 feels a little low for me, but I'll accept it because it wasn't as well received as we all hoped.
I put it into context like this. So far, the highest rated movie, we've done 15 movies. The highest rated movie we have as a group is Winter Soldier, and it's only a 92.5.
There's maybe one more movie on the list that could get that high.
Well,
Two.
I would be astounded if there wasn't one movie that gets higher than that.
Yeah, there's one coming up very soon, very early in the next show that we do this, that's going to get really big numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then one a bit farther down the road that I'd be shocked if it doesn't come close to that. But you're going to have to wait for that, folks. This is the end of our Marvel retrospective. I'm going to hold off on the overall average until we're done. I gave an average of that section of the last show we did. I'm not in the mood for that math right now. I know it's only... No, because I'd have to combine it with the other... No, fuck that. You'll find out at the end, damn it. You'll find out at the end.
I think, Kyle, I don't know what you were hoping for when it comes to, like, movies getting super high scores. You knew Vinny wasn't going to be a high scorer for anything.
I think low 80s numbers are understandable for a lot of the movies.
But, like, you threw out some of the lowest scores in the earlier round.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also just, like, movies that I absolutely love that, like, I mean, I had the, second highest score for Doctor Strange by 1 point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be like that. I'm just kind of surprised that there aren't, like, we weren't closer in our grading for some of them, I guess.
Mike's going to be way nicer than most of us.
For this round,
And so is
I'm
Joe.
not as
But
nice as
no,
the
you
last
weren't.
round.
Yeah.
And you guys aren't as low as the last round this time. So we're naturally coming together.
Yeah. There's a lot more that I enjoyed in this round. Like earlier on, you know, the Hulk movie, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. They're not
our low,
they're not the best sequels.
So every movie that we graded today is, like, in the middle of our previous scores, pretty much. Like,
Yeah.
Our three lowest scores from the first show are lower than our four lowest scores from the first show are lower than all 5 movies that we did for today.
Yeah. One of them got a 53.75. We really beat the shit out of Thor Dark World.
Yeah.
Dark World, Hulk, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3, Iron Man 2, and Thor, so 5, are all lower
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap this up.
This section.
I just got
Yeah, all right.
I just
You know
got
where
an
to find
email
us.
we have to discuss briefly.
As always, if you like what you hear, you can like us on Facebook.com/nerdities. Follow us on Twitter at nerdities. Email us at nerdities@gmail.com and check out nerdities.com.
Hi there, fuck you, blah blah blah. T-shirts, tpublic.com/nerdities. While they're still there, sinfulcreationsbyjustin.com. Order sweet stuff. Joe, go now.
YouTube.com/nerdities. Subscribe, like, share, hit bell, new content, lots coming. Halloween, Christmas, Justice League, feature film, produce, give us money, brew and swoon, business, product, yeah.
Bullet
Give
points.
us money.
Business Nerdy Screw, 8 o'clock, totally throw it out. Don't worry, next week's worth the number one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Because of the end of civilization, the Clamp Cable Network now leaves the air. We hope you have enjoyed our programming, but more importantly, we hope you have enjoyed life.